It's IPC Apex Expo 2023. It's drawing to the end of day one. Joined by Chris from Indium. Thanks for coming over. We spoke a year ago.
Yeah.
Last year was a bit of a funny show. It was we all accepted it'd be a slight lower, footfall and a few fewer companies. This year, it's banging.
I think so. Every time I turn around, I'm talking to someone new.
Really? Yeah. That's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, that's why we're here.
Yeah,
make connections. And
yeah. So, what's new with Indium? What's happened over the last year?
Yeah, there's quite a bit that's changed over the last year. We got a couple new products.
Yeah.
The Durafuse technology is really taking off and rocking. A lot of new users coming on board with the Durafuse technology, and we're expanding that technology as well. So, a lot of really, really good things happening.
Okay, yeah. So, actually, can you just explain what Durafuse is, for someone that doesn't get the whole picture?
Sure. So the Durafuse technology is really a mixed powder technology that we're incorporating for high reliability. And we really started off with low temperature, high reliability from a drop shock standpoint. Since then, we've expanded the brand and the technology to Durafuse HR, which is a high reliability alloy for the more traditional automotive applications, the minus 40 to 125 thermal cycling, minus 40 to 150 thermal cycling. And then we're expanding even further with Durafuse HT, which is a lead replacement in the semiconductor realm, where we can completely replace lead with the lead-free Durafuse HT option, which the industry's been clamoring for a long time. And then we're going even further lower temperature with new technologies in the Durafuse realm, where we can go down to minus 190, 195, and we're bridging that gap, even going closer to 150, hopefully in the future.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't that long ago where you wouldn't have thought those things were possible.
Yeah, it's our R&D efforts have really paid off. We have some fantastic people in the R&D team that are really making absolute fantastic technological discoveries. We really believe material science changes the world, and that's what our R&D team is trying to do.
Yeah, and but it's with real world benefits like efficiency benefits and, like you say.
Oh, for sure. So one of the big deals with the Durafuse LT is the efficiency gains on electricity consumption.
Right.
So we're actually able to reduce energy consumption on the reflow oven by up to 15% with the Durafuse LT.
Right.
Now, you could say, well, okay, bismuth can do the same thing and even go even further lower in temperature. And that's true. We're able to reduce temperatures about 30% compared to SAC 305 with the bismuth alloys. But the Durafuse LT, the benefit is the high reliability.
Right.
You're not compromising on drop shock performance or thermal cycling performance that you would with the bismuth-contained alloys.
Yeah. So I bet response is pretty good at the show to this, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been fantastic. You know, every time, like I said, every time I turn around, I'm talking to someone new, and they all want to talk about Durafuse and the Durafuse technology, the benefits of the materials. A lot of the other benefits, the large delta T's that a lot of customers have, where they have large components right next to very small components on the board. You could have about a 50 or 60 degree delta that the Durafuse LT is really the only material, the only solder material that you could use in that case.
Yeah.
So you could reflow boards and have the very large components at around 200 degrees C, and the very small components at about 250 or 260 even, and the Durafuse solder is the only solder that will handle those temperature gradients. Obviously the low temperature at soldering from 200 to 210 degrees C is something that a lot of people are looking at. Some people call it mid-temperature, but it's still lower than SAC, so we do consider it a low temperature. And that's really enabling some of these step soldering applications to happen, right? So RF shield attached to boards where people don't want to use bismuth because of the brittle nature of bismuth. The Durafuse isn't going to be compromised on the reliability of the material. So there's a lot of what I'll call value propositions that we're finding with the Durafuse LT. Even going forward, we're still finding stuff. If
Right.
you're able to reflow at 230 degrees C, the thermal cycling performance actually outperforms SAC 305 on a lot of the fine feature type components,
Yeah.
the 0.3, 0.35 millimeter pitch BGAs and wafer level CSPs.
Yeah.
So there's a vast benefit of the Durafuse LT. It's not just specific for one niche application.
No. Well, it's fantastic, and it's great to have someone like talk about a show like this, which is one of the biggest shows, isn't
Right.
it? So, yeah.
So, and then going further, the Durafuse HR is really a material that we think is going to make a big splash in the automotive realm with thermal cycling performance, because people are looking for longer mission profiles, right? So thermal cycling is going to be a big benefit for them compared to the traditional SAC 305 or even some of the other high reliability alloys out there. So we're able to really compete and perform well beyond some of the other traditional high reliability alloys out there. But we understand that there is not a one-size-fits-all solution for high reliability.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of the equation, high reliability could mean flux vehicle technology as well.
Right.
So the electrical reliability of the assembly and the flux residues that are left behind, we need to make sure that they are withstanding some of the new critical constraints and requirements of the electronics manufacturing industry, where you have tighter spacing, finer lines, higher voltage. That's one huge topic within the electronics realm right now, especially with the EV market, because people are going up to 600, 800, 1,000 volts. And how do you really test the flux residue that you're leaving behind on the board for compatibility with those particular voltages?
Yeah. No, it's fantastic. It's exciting times.
It is. It's very exciting.
Yeah. Well, thanks for spending time talking to us, Chris. Good to see you again.
Nice seeing you.
And I'm sure next year when we talk again, that range will have even more products in it.
I'm sure we will.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.